As one of the leaders, pioneers, you could say, of the make scrimmages secret again movement, this
Mhm.
one warmed my heart. Cart Brad Underwood and Todd Golden, right in lockstep with me. That's a group I probably don't necessarily want to be lockstep between, to be honest, as I talk through this. Anyways, the point is this: Illinois and Florida held a secret scrimmage that very much was a secret, the way this used to be done, and back in my day type energy. Uh, Rather than put this on the SEC network, ESPN Plus, whatever, for fans to watch, this was held behind closed doors, and both teams were able to do a lot of things they wanted without the public really knowing what went on. In the end, there's been conflicting reports. We had that one like Illinois account that claimed Illinois was incredible and everyone was amazing.
So they actually made a whole ass fake box score to the game, which is crazy. Like, I mean, honestly, credit to that. Like, that's crazy
Yeah.
coming up with a full box score for a game.
You earned it, right? At that
Yeah.
point, you earned the attention that you got. But turns out all of those rumors were not true. In the end, we can confirm what many others have confirmed, right? Let's give some credit where credit is due to Jeremy Werner, who has put some very in-depth notes together for 24/7 Sports. I will say, prior to Werner writing up his write-up, we heard a lot of the same things from like sources we trust behind closed doors. So yeah, this is what happened. We'll talk through it. There are a couple things we heard that didn't get mentioned by Werner that we can talk through too. Again, we don't know. We didn't see it. This is all hearsay. I think everyone is reporting off of what is coming out of that very locked down secret scrimmage gym. So, in the end, this is what happened. We've been told, and Werner has been told. Florida won 96-86 by all accounts, by all sources. Very high level game. No Boogie Flan for Florida. No Andres Stojakovic for Illinois. Both of those are confirmed absences at this point. However, still had Xavier Lee, still had the full Florida front court. Illinois had the freshman on full display. Boswell, Big T was back. We were told that Tomislav was on a minutes restriction in this game, played roughly half the game, but great to see him back and active. Mihailo Petrovic made a very quiet, short, stinted debut. Only a couple minutes from for Petro is what we were told. I think Werner's report had like 2 minutes total. We weren't told it was that little, but we were told he got some run and it was quick and in and out, quick trigger. So I don't know. We'll see exactly what this looked like. But the story of this game, by all accounts, other than it being really high level, is that Illinois jumped out to an early lead. Florida stormed ahead. In the end, it kind of looked like Florida was going to run away with it, but Illinois made a pretty impassioned comeback or just made things interesting late. Total it up at the very finish of this game. Florida won by 10 with some fouls and some free throws involved to get them back to double digits. But sounds like a wild back and forth affair, really high level offense all around. Boswell was Illinois' leading scorer. That's what we were told, and also what Werner reported. Big T, I think, close to 20 points in about half the game. He looked like everything you'd expect from Big T. But once again, the story from the Illinois perspective has been the freshman. And in this game, it sounds like Wagler was closer to what people are expecting him to be with the offseason hype. Made some jumpers, got to the rim, looked like the real deal. And once again, importantly, David Mirkovich just amazing. Now, this is the one thing table setting wise that we've heard differently than what Werner wrote. I believe he wrote 19 points and 6 rebounds,
No, he wrote 16 and 6.
16 and
Sorry,
6,
17 and 6.
17 and 6.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got that right. 17 and 6 per Werner.
Yep.
Probably right because Werner's right. I'm not trying to dispute what Werner says. We were told 17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. I haven't heard the assist portion be mentioned from anybody in this, other than we saw some video of it because Illinois finally put some clips and he's throwing behind the back bounce passes to Big T.
Mhm.
So again, it's a secret scrimmage. We don't know. I tend to believe what we were told here, I tend to believe that David Mirovich finished with 17, 9, and 6, which is crazy if that happened against the Florida front court at full strength.
That's the biggest takeaway. Even if it was 17 and 6, 19 6 and whatever you said, doesn't ma- against one of the better maybe the best defensive front court in the country. The combination of Chinyelu, Condon, and Howe. Like that for Mirkovic to do that as a freshman is ridiculous. And I feel like a lot of people are coming off that last one, like, okay, yeah, Merck was good against what was it, Illinois State. Like he would do that against this. Backing that up by doing this against this team
Yeah.
is impressive and scary for the rest of the Big Ten country if Merck is going to be this.
Right. And not just
With
that,
and combined with Big T.
I'm going to say it's not just that it's against the Florida Bigs. He did this in a role next to Tomislav.
Hmm.
Like you could have made the pitch, oh, that crazy Draymond Greeny debut was just because Tomislav was out. So
Right.
throw a guy that's not going to get those opportunities into that role. He did great. No, like he did this next to Big T with everybody except for Andre available. Like if this is true, if what we were told is true, and he had 6 assists, regardless, like you said, the rest is great too. Um, dude, they're going to build around him. I just think you have to. I think you have to build around a guy that versatile if he's capable of doing this. And it sounds like right now that is what's happening. So, again, we're not trying to just sit here and word vomit about how amazing Illinois is. Florida beat them. Florida beat them in this game. They won this game without Boogie Fland. Um, that's certainly just as impressive as anything you would take away from Illinois. So, again, hard to say. We should probably mention both Florida and Illinois dropped visuals from this. We
Hmm.
got like roughly 60 seconds of clips from both Florida and Illinois. So you can kind of square up like, okay, what did people say happened with what's it looking like? This looked like a super high level game on both sides.
Yeah, no, it looked like the boys are hooping for sure. A lot of good stuff from Boswell in these clips too, which I mean, to your point, Boz is, I think, in for a really, really big senior year this year. And I feel like you and I talked about it a little bit. We think he's a better shooter than he showed last year from three. But even if it's not that much better, like if it just gets marginally better, he's still a guy that is like a strong frame, 6'2" senior guard and can get to the hoop. I think a lot of times in this clips that I saw, it was like, oh, yeah, Xavier Lee's good, but also he's light in the ass, and I'm just gonna go to the hoop and go finish.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. I'm excited about it. Look, analytics believe these two teams are going to be amazing. Ken Palm has Florida second, Illinois sixth. Like this very much could have been like a national championship Final Four preview. It sounds crazy to throw those type of words around with Illinois, obviously, but like maybe it shouldn't be. Card, I know I do this every year and people make fun of me, the wild swings of me with Illinois. I was so out on them 2 weeks ago. This team looks so talented, and they still don't even have Stojakovic.
Yeah, they do look talented. Now can we flip side it a little bit?
Are you going to flip side correlation this?
Yeah,
I know where you're going.
please. So, if can I be Illinois in this case?
Yep.
Please make your way to the rim at your earliest convenience. Now we have different options here. You can choose to dunk. You can choose to lay it up. You can choose to dish it to a wide open man if you like. But please, at your earliest convenience, please enjoy going to the rim without any kind of resistance whatsoever. Thank you.
Yeah, 96 points to a Florida team that didn't have Boogie Fland.
And the other team was able to make a montage called Dunk City because you just gave up layups and dunks.
Now, it sounds like Xavier Lee's pretty good, and obviously the front court's amazing. But also, like, for any Illinois fans who aren't as familiar with like what this year's version of Florida brings to the table, our big question with Florida all offseason card has been depth. Like beyond the two guards, the 2 point guards, Fland and Lee, I don't really like any of the options off the bench in the backcourt. So I don't know. Just as a starting point, like I know Illinois fans are like, well, we didn't have Andre either. In terms of like what those individual players should bring impact wise to these teams, respectfully to Andre Stojakovic, it's nowhere near what Boogie Fland is supposed to be for Florida.
Hmm.
Boogie Fland's supposed to be Walter Clayton 2.0, possibly lead the team in scoring. That's not Andre. Andre's like a nice to have, it fit in the middle rebounder based on
Hmm.
everything that's been said this offseason about him. So like it's not one for one there. Giving up 96 and losing without Boogie Fland is definitely not a good defensive data point. But
Hmm.
again, we don't know how this was ran. Did they play 40 minutes real pure live? Did they like go in and out? Were there crazy amounts of subs? It does sound like Illinois subbed a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, still though, I think defensively, as good as Merck and Big T are as an offensive skill front court and rebounding wise, I think there are some defensive liability points to that.
Yeah, I mean, just flat out without Flan, Florida's offense should not be this good.
Yeah, also Florida, Thomas Hogg at the three, from what I saw, looks like it's gonna work.
Yeah, that's scary.
Scary,
So
scary, because
big.
that's what we were talking about. Like, oh, like we want to like does Florida deserve to be this high if Thomas Hogg like at the three? Is that gonna work? Look like it worked.
It turns out Thomas Hall might be better than Jaron Stevenson.
Yeah.
Whoa, crazy.
Wait, Jaron Stevenson.
Well, that was I compared it to the Alabama stuff last year.
Oh, ew.
Well, that's to me they're trying to do what Nate Oates thought he could do last year. I'll just put Jaron at the three, and we'll be huge, and it'll work. And then it turns out they couldn't do that because Jaron Stevenson stunk.
Yeah, but Hogg doesn't stink.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah. Also, uh, we don't endorse bullying on this channel. Out of pocket a little bit for Florida men's basketball page to do what they did to Keaton Wagler in this game.
Yeah, I laughed because Illinois hadn't put the clips out yet, and the reports were already coming out. Like Wagler looked really good this time, and then Florida immediately was just like, "Here's a clip of Wagler going nowhere and getting his shit sent." Now look, Illinois did put a couple clips together, and Wagler did some things that were good. He got to the
Yeah.
rim for one finish. I'm sure he made some jumpers again. Still don't know that I'm buying like primary point guard Keaton Wagler though. It's to me it sounds like that should be Boswell on this team.
Yeah. I think that's what's best.
Yeah. But good bounce back performance if Wagler hit more shots again.
Yeah. Just yeah. And then why did Mahalo play 2 minutes?
Got a theory there.
What? Was it because he like played and like 'cause he was coming back from an injury, and was it just like he felt something?
I don't know. I don't want to speculate on injury situations. I know nothing about where Petro's at right now. Sounds like he's eligible. Sounds like that's been reported. So yay. Before Halloween again, too, by the way. Cash your under Halloween tickets if you had the timing on Petro. Can I float? Can I float? Nah, can I float it? It's a thought.
Yeah.
I think Petro might just stink.
Oh, so which Curbelo is he?
Well, like, so the thing about last year's international prospects that came to America was that there were a couple no-brainer lottery picks, right?
Yeah.
Like, say what you want about Yakachonis and Demon, they had ups and downs. Those were like NBA players, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
The big international guys this year are like Petro and Meyer in the league. I'm just talking.
Hmm.
There's other guys outside of them, but like Steinbach too, who is an NBA guy. I think Steinbach is in the Yakachonis Demon mold to me. He's a one and done. That's cool. Petro's not. Petro's not. Meyer's not. Even though he's like kind of people are looking at him. Those guys are much more like I don't know. They're different because Petro's older and proven, but they're just different caliber players. They're like European basketball players, and they're guys that might have done this like 10 years ago and taken a redshirt year and then played. Those guys very rarely came in and like were engines for teams. Um, I mean, just as a data point card, I think most people believe Omer Meyer is a better player than Mahalo. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's kind of what's being built is that Meyer's supposed to be better.
Yeah.
Meyer's not going to play at Purdue. Meyer
Sure.
has fallen like very out of the rotation loudly at Purdue already. He's going to play like 13 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And he is supposed to be better than Petro. So I don't know. If Wagler is just a shot maker and Boz is going to be this version of Boz, you don't really need anything from Petro. I'm coming around on that idea. I would have said 2 weeks ago you need him to be your everything. You pretty clearly don't. And again, it's 2 minutes into his season. Maybe next week he'll have 11 assists and come back. But that's my current working theory is why is no one at Illinois even talking about him as a starter? Well, they've probably seen him. He probably doesn't look very good.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, at least in Omer's sense, it's like, oh, Omer's this 18-year-old dude. You expect the 22-year-old who's played professional basketball to come in and factor into college basketball.
Yeah. And look, Brad hasn't missed on a European, right? Like, I mean, Tommy's amazing. Mirovich looks amazing. So we should give him the benefit of the doubt, at least until he's fully healthy. But that is my current working theory. When you take all the data points of like why is Wagler being gassed up so much? Why are they already talking about Merck off the or Petro off the bench? Why did he only play 2 minutes, even though he's eligible now? My working theory is he's just pretty out of this rotation right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably fair to say. Also, I feel like I don't know. For me, I guess with Andre back, it makes you feel better. But like Petro not being, I know there's some people that are in the stance of like Petro needs to be good for this team to be good.
No,
I don't think that's the case.
not right now. Not if
Yeah.
not if the Merck stuff is for real.
Right.
Because
Facts.
you have a point forward that's getting you the assists you thought you were getting from Petro.
Yeah, and I want to make sure we said it loud enough. The Merc stuff's for real.
It's extremely for real.
It's like for real, for real.
Like I think even if Big T is there, I think Merck might be the best player.
Who do we have for freshman of the year in the Big Ten?
Steinbach.
Oh fuck yeah.
It's hard to beat that.
Okay. I thought we were doing the I thought people were still doing the whole like Caden Mingo thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Merck's going to be in
Well,
the mix though.
Merck's in the mix for freshman of the year.
The visuals from Illinois looked so good.
Oh, that little like behind the back, he drove from the top of the key, like it's a lot.
Card, I think this Illinois team is very for real. I think the analytics were right. They
Ken
knew this
Palm
was
was
coming.
right.
The analytics knew this was coming.
My line, I also knew this was coming.
Yeah. And we learned this in a 10-point loss.
Yep.
They're so for real. On that note, can
They
I
were
make
also
one?
down. They were also down 20 at some point in that.
Can I make one raise my hand and call a little BS moment?
Yeah.
So let me read one of the sentences that Werner wrote in his write up. It was the only thing I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. I want to read it word for word. All in all, good for Illinois to show confidence but face adversity against a high level opponent and respond to retake the lead. The thought is that last year's team may fold in a similar situation. So let me get this right. Illinois was up early, fell down 20, made it interesting late and lost by 10. And the pitch is that last year's team couldn't do that. Like, I know last year's team lost by 60 to Duke. I know that Michigan State embarrassed them a couple games.
Mm.
The story of last year for Illinois was not like, we're just going to roll down and die. That's not how the season went. That's not who they were.
Right.
So I'm very confused on like narratively what exactly are we trying to pitch here? How can you possibly learn that your team is like mentally tougher with more perseverance and togetherness in a game that you lost by 10 and blew a lead in?
Yeah, it didn't really make much sense.
It would make sense if they won. But again, this team supposedly blew a lead and lost by double digits. And you want us to believe like last year's team couldn't do this.
Yeah, it's a little iffy.
It's
A little
fallen
iffy.
on deaf ears for me.
Yeah, it's a little iffy, I'd say.
And I also think to these players' credit, they're so different than last year. I don't want to keep comparing to last year every game.
I want to move on from last year.
Why do we have to look backwards anymore when we have this team? Is there a reason we have to like at every turn say it's the same or different?
College athletics is all about looking back and reminiscing and comparing everything to previous things that happened.
I guess that's true.
That's all it is.
I guess that's true. Let's end with this. Ken Palm says sixth We called that crazy a week ago based on what you have seen with exhibitions and with everything. What do you think Illinois is? The blank best team in the country.
12th.
That's lower than we put them on our list, isn't it?
When last night?
I think we had them top 10 last night when we did like what should the updated top 15 be?
Right now. Yeah, that was like a post-exhibition thing. I think at the end of the day, they're going to end up being like the 12th best team in the country.
Do you think there'll be some teams that'll leap them by the end of the year?
Hmm.
Okay, I think it's a top 10 team. I don't know what that means for March. March is fluky. I think they're going to be right there, man. I think this is probably a top 6 or 7 team in the sport.
Tommy was right.